Hey everyone, Dr. Nick here, your friendly functional physical therapist, and today I want to talk to you about your spine, or more specifically, the intervertebral discs of your spine, the misunderstood shock absorbers. Now, at one point or another, I'm sure you've heard, someone has said, your disc is like a jelly donut. If it squishes out, it herniates. Or if you injure your back, you never should move again. You're gonna make it worse if you bend, and blah, blah, blah. Guess what? Nonsense. Balderdash. Poppycock. Gibberish. Hogwash. Let me know in the comments down below. Did I miss any fun slang words that you like to use to denote bullshit? Because that's what that is. Yeah. Let's bust some myths and let's break down what's really going on. So yeah, no, your intervertebral discs are not jelly donuts. There's no Krispy Kreme biomechanics here, okay? No flavorful fun frosting, flexion protection. That was fun. Yeah, I absolutely loathe when I hear someone equate your disc to a jelly donut. That insinuates that you're soft and fragile and any mismovement can just, everything will squish out. That was a fun noise. It's actually quite the contrary to that, okay? Your intervertebral discs are very tough. The outer border of it, the annulus fibrosus, as the name implies, it's composed of layers of fibrotic tissue that crisscross that are meant to kind of stretch and compress as we load the spine. And the inner layer, the gel-like structure, the nucleus pulposus, which by the way has more of a consistency akin to marshmallows than it does to jello, is that shock absorber material meant to kind of distribute loads evenly throughout the disc. Our spines are not meant to be rigid, they're meant to move, and the disc allows that to distribute forces. When the disc isn't doing its job, that's when we get a lot more compression through the actual structural integrity of the skeleton, and that causes degeneration. So discs are very important, and they are primary shock absorbers. They're not weak and fragile, they're tough. Now let's talk dysfunction. Disc bulges, disc herniations, degenerative disc disease, etc. These all sound pretty scary, right? The truth is, a lot of these pathologies are very much age-related. As a matter of fact, there was a study done back in 2015. It was a systematic review of 33 clinical studies that showed a strong correlation between these spinal pathologies and your age in asymptomatic patients. So people with no problems whatsoever. Say you were 40 years old, there's a 50% likelihood that you have a disc bulge, but you don't have any pain whatsoever. So just because we see these things on our images, we don't want to get hung up on this because we might end up treating a symptom rather than the actual issue. So if your MRI shows something like that, don't panic, you're not broken. Okay, I want to debunk some myths now. Number one, cracking your back cannot fix a disc herniation. You can't pop a herniation back into place. Your disc isn't a loose Lego piece. Going back to how I describe the anatomy of the intervertebral disc, the outer border is that tough fibrotic ring. If that tears and then that gel-like substance pushes out a little bit, then a forceful rotation would not cause it to suck back in and then heal the cartilage. Unless you're Wolverine, that's not how anatomy works. Sure, some manipulations could provide some temporary relief in reducing that muscle tension, but it's not really fixing the disc. And if it's performed at certain levels, say the level that's actually injured, you could end up worsening things by causing additional compression at whatever's been extruded. Maybe you could forcefully cause a sequestrin where the gel-like material actually gets severed from the inside and now it's just kind of floating. Yeah. Next myth, discs don't heal. What? If someone tells you that, you turn and walk away from them. Discs very much can heal. Sure, they have a bit of a decreased blood supply, so healing takes time, but a disc can 100% heal itself. As a matter of fact, with a disc herniation, recovery time is anywhere from 6 weeks to 6 months, where that body will correct the disc herniation. It will send in macrophages to eat up whatever material has been extruded. It will kind of form scar tissue around that annulus so that things are once again a ring. There are some secondary effects like multifidus dysfunction and fatty infiltrate that can cause lingering issues to occur, but the disc itself can very much heal. All it takes, time, appropriate education, nutrition, sleep, hydration, and then proper strengthening, right? All that stuff plays a factor in how quickly we recover from an injury like this. So you're not doomed. All right, and the last myth I want to mention is one that's so wild just because it goes against what you actually should be doing. Once you injure your back, you shouldn't move at all. So I was like, okay, well, bending forward hurts, just never bend forward ever again. That couldn't be further from the truth. Your spine is meant to move. Like that's its purpose. Movement is going to be the best thing for you. You just have to do it in a progressive manner. Just don't, it's like, okay, I hurt my back. Yes, I herniated a disc yesterday. I'll give it a day and then I'm gonna go back to the gym and deadlift 300 pounds again. It's like, pump the brakes, all right? Give it some time. We can get you back there. It's just, you have to be smart about it. And that's gonna lead us into what actually works when it comes to treating your back. Number one, movement. The worst thing you can do for a back is nothing. Bed rest, thing of the past. Throw that into the bag with, leaching and icing and ultrasounding and all the fun sort of modalities that have kind of been debunked over the past. You have to move. You're meant to move. That's facilitating blood flow. Blood brings nutrition. Without nutrition, nothing repairs or recovers, so move. In line with movement, we have to get you back to strengthening. We have to do progressive loading, right? Get you moving towards those movements that bothered you, strengthening you through full ranges of motion so that your spine can handle all that stuff once again. And if we do it in a nice tapered manner, you're gonna be great, right? You're gonna be good in no time. You just have to be smart about it. The longer you take to actually treat the underlying problem, the harder it is to climb out of that hole, right? And obviously there are gonna be other factors. Nutrition, as I mentioned, that's gonna play a role. If you don't have the energy to recover, you're not going to recover. Sleep, that's where we recover. So if you don't enter sleep mode, you don't recover. Hydration, what are our discs composed of? Water. Discs are composed of water. So if you don't have water, you don't have disc. Yeah. You need these things. So all these are materials necessary to function properly, and they serve a role in recovery. So get to walking, eat well, a well-rounded diet. When I say diet, people always think diet like restrictive. No, diet just means what you're eating. The actual definition is what you're eating. So a well-rounded diet, sleeping enough, drinking enough water, moving frequently, and progressively loading what needs to be loaded. And that usually works best under the observing eye of a trained therapist. And there you have it. Discs are not fragile pastries, le croissant de lumbar. Movement is not just your friend, it's your BFF. And number three, if you have a disc or spine pathology, you're not doomed, all right? You just gotta approach it in the right manner. If you have any questions on anything I didn't touch on, let me know in the comments down below. What's the wildest myth you've ever heard about your back? Or do you have any other myths that I need to debunk for you? If you have questions on any specific spine pathologies or other pathologies, tell me and I will try and make a video for you. Otherwise, this is Dr. Nick, your friendly functional physical therapist, saying stay active, stay healthy, and hopefully I don't have to see you.